Hello there. My name is Kat, and here is a reading for M in California. Hi, M. I hope all is well. You called for a reading, and here it is. You have, let's start with your question. You wanted to know about spiritual and wellness information, your overall general reading. You asked, what do you need to clear away or out? And what are you clearing out? And how is this going to show up in your life? How will the aftermath of clearing out support your journey? Well, firstly, you got the Six of Wands, which is a very positive card. This is an overall theme here. This is about victory. This is about positivity, moving in the right direction, some kind of acknowledgement from your community, perhaps. This is about moving forward, and it just talks about you almost being on top of the world in terms of your spiritual and wellness perspective. Um, Now let's take a look at the other cards. I'm going to pull this one aside and pull from the Psychic Tarot deck. Let's see here. Your first question is, what do you need to clear out? Okay. Okay, so there's shadow work. Okay. So continuing on the shadow work that you've been working on. Number 9, 1 plus 8 is 9, is about endings. So you're ending, it came up like this, which could mean that it's the reverse, or it could mean that it's very important. I think it's both. I think it's you're at the end of maybe doing some important shadow work, especially in terms of spiritual and wellness. But it's also very important that you continue to complete the shadow work. And what exactly are you clearing out? Let's find out. Well, it looks like rest and rejuvenation is helping you clear out. But what exactly are you clearing out? Oh, wow. Interesting. Some kind of temptation. Important and reversed. But what is this temptation that you're needing to clear out? So the temptation, perhaps, to not be aware. Maybe you are closing off from things that you don't want to see, that you don't want to be aware of. Maybe you're trying to protect your spiritual wellness, maybe mental health, and but maybe if you're overprotecting. See, what I'm seeing here is that if you're if it's like, I'm not saying you are turning a blind eye, but it feels like maybe there's things that you don't want to see, and you're doing it in terms of for the sake of protecting your health, your spirituality, your wellness, and that's okay, right? But maybe there are some realities that you need to look at, perhaps. Let me look deeper into this. Okay, so movement, choices, and decisions. It was upside down, so that could mean that you're feeling stuck in terms of maybe movement, choices, and decisions. Let's look deeper into this. Oh, wow. Okay, so any kind of deception or envy, what is it that you need to be honest about in your life to yourself, right? Um, it's important to clear any kind of lack of clarity and ask for clarity, ask for information, ask for the truth, even if the truth might hurt. Now, this is part of your spiritual path, number 7. So, it's, let's look deeper. When you clear any kind of self-deception, I don't really pick up envy energy, but more of a self-deception energy. It can create accelerated motion. And number 8 is a universal number in terms of the infinity. So connecting with your higher self and your 3D and your 5D self, for example. There's something that you need to look at. So basically, to answer your questions, what do you need to clear out is the temptation to maybe not want to know certain things, to close off awareness, which is keeping you stuck in certain movement choices and decisions. But once you clear any of that, it's like, there's certain things maybe that are happening in life or in the world that we don't want to know about because it's just too much, maybe for our mental or spiritual wellness. But I feel like Spirit is coming through and saying there are certain things that you might need to be aware of. I'm hearing the word trauma, so maybe there's some traumatic things that happened also in the past, or maybe in your family lineage, ancestry, things like that need to be really looked at and dissected almost and analyzed. Because once you look at that, it's going to help your spiritual wellness department, and it's going to accelerate your motion, your spiritual. Wow. Okay. Follow your intuition on that. How is it going to show up in your life when you do this? Once the clearing, once the awareness opens up, how will this show up in your life? Oh, wow. Okay. Third eye chakra. You're opening your third eye. That's how it's going to show up. So it's about clearing and opening your third eye. It's about willingness to see the truth and to open up your awareness. How will it also show up is opening up your solar plexus. So your power, your willpower, your ability to stand strong in truth. That is how it's going to show up in your life. And it's important to clear. Oh, wow. Okay. Spiritual strength. So this is how it's going to show up for you, is the more you open up and awaken your abilities, it's going to show up in spiritual strength, which is 9, the God code. It's completion. It's fully awakening. So you can go back to that number 1 and stand on higher ground, on a new timeline, perhaps, on your best timeline, on your highest timeline. So we need to heal the old timelines and clear the old timelines in order to step into our new timeline. And once you step into that new timeline, then you begin anew. with a new foundation of healing and clarity. But in order to do that, it's super important to become aware and be willing even to look into the darkness, even willing to look into what's happening in the world, the realities of what is happening in the world, and having awareness of how that has affected all of your ancestors and all the timelines before you. You know, truth does set us free. And the sooner I feel, based on this reading, the sooner your willingness to face the truth, the better for your own spiritual life and wellness and happiness. It's kind of like this. If we're holding on to certain things, it's like you have rocks attached to your ankles and you're sinking in the water. You're not being allowed to swim. But if you look at the reality that you have rocks that are weighing you down, you untie those rocks and now you're able to go to the surface and float. It's the same kind of concept. Or pushing the filled balloon down underwater. It takes a lot of energy to push things down. So the minute that you acknowledge it and look at it, then you can free yourself. It may take a day of processing, or a week, or a month, or a year, but it's worth it. Okay. Take note of intuitive messages. Okay. Follow the moon patterns. We've actually just started releasing the astrology information for every month starting May. We just posted that video yesterday. So go ahead and take a look at that, because that might actually bring you a lot of insight into your own healing journey. Okay, let's see what else is here. Direction, guardian, choose your path. Wow. You are a master in the making, but you've already mastered this. You've already been through this. So you can choose your path. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What does your highest timeline look like? What does your happiness, your highest happiness look like? Because it is all about happiness in the end. Not the happy one day, sad the other day kind of happiness. I'm talking about long-term happiness. What roots, what foundation do you want to plant for yourself? Okay. Protection guardian. Drop your shields. Okay. So maybe the shields have protected you up to this point, but maybe they need to come down a little bit. Maybe you've shielded your third eye so you don't see certain things. But if you drop the shield from your third eye and you truly see the clarity, truly see with clarity, and that's a lot of having to do with discernment, it will be positive. Okay. And peacekeeper, let go of the need to be right. Okay. I got an extra bonus here. Sacral chakra. So opening up your creativity, opening up your creative, whether it's music, art, puzzles, drawing, roller skating, whatever it is, sitting under a tree, playing with music, it doesn't matter what it is. It's all connected. It's all connected. Opening up all of your chakras. I know sometimes the world doesn't always feel that safe to open up all the chakras and to be the energy, but just try. Sometimes it's really needed for your own spiritual and wellness health to do that, to consciously do that. Say, go to a park and sit on the grass and ground with the trees and ground with Mama Gaia, and just give yourself full permission to open up your auric field and your auras, your chakras, and just see your light expanding all the way out and pushing away anything that's not serving you, that's been clogging your auric field, pushing all of that out. I'm probably going to do a meditation on this and record it because I do this almost every day, this meditation for myself, and it really helps. It helps a lot. Okay, let's look at the star seeds level of things. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Okay. Star family, you're part of a team of souls. Call in support. That is so true. Call on your team. Now, how I like to call in my team is I say truth, because I don't want to attract any lower energies. I say truth, archangels, truth, ascended masters, truth, Elohim, truth, Mother, Father, Source, truth, all light beings and guides working with me here today, working with us today, truth, ancestors. I always say the word truth, so I know that I'm calling in my true star family. Okay. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. Wow. Okay, I feel one more card, and this is the shadow. Okay, arrogance. Not seeing flaws hinders growth. No limits to learn and improve. Humility, awareness, and growth. So just be careful with that. Everyone has flaws. No one's perfect. So, it's about willingness to have that human experience and to go into the pain, the trauma, the everything in between, and allowing yourself to dive deep like the mermaid and go into your subconscious mind and honor even the things that you're not proud of. And to really embrace that as a great lesson of showing you who you really are instead of what you're not. So sometimes our mistakes are just simply corrections in the universe saying, look, you made a mistake, but it's not a big deal, because it's only going to show you who you really are and what you're really not. And that's a great thing. It's kind of like you're driving your car and you make the wrong turn, you make a left, but you should have made a right. Well, GPS is going to reroute you and take you to your destination. It's not going to beat you up and say, you made a left, how dare you? No, it's going to say, all right, now that you made a left, now you have to go over there, make a right, and then another right. And then eventually you're going to reach your destination. The universe doesn't judge. We judge. Unfortunately, we judge ourselves. But be humble with yourself, and there's that awareness. That awareness is right there. Humility, awareness, and growth. It's okay to see your flaws. It's okay to know your limits, to learn and improve, right? Arrogance is just covering up what we don't want to see in ourselves. And that's okay. That's okay too, right? Because we all go through that. We all go through the different levels of awakening and understanding. And we eventually end up in a place of wisdom through all this experience. So don't beat yourself up, love yourself, take care of you, and always aim to put yourself on the highest timeline, because that is where your happiness is. So much love to you, Em, from California. And thank you to anyone else who may have listened to this and learned a little bit from this. If you would like a personal reading, feel free to go to our website, which is in the YouTube description area. And I'll see you on the other side. Namaste.